Birdie is an animation meme content creator known for controversy after controversy. Today, we'll be talking about Birdie's controversies, or at least the more alarming ones, ranging from gore art marketed to kids to throwing a ferret onto the couch. Birdie has a lot of things wrong with him. This is Plushies, where I talk about people who interest me, and today's video is about Birdie. Sophia Jack Harrington is a 20-year-old animation meme content creator who goes by the name Birdie online. He is a trans male that uses the name Jack and Lucifer. He is gay but also aroace. Aroace is when you're both aromantic and asexual, so I have no idea how you'd be attracted to guys, while at the same time having no sexual attraction to anyone in general. Jack has been diagnosed with ADHD, autism, and borderline personality disorder, also known as BPD. BPD is a mental condition that messes with one's ability to control their emotion. The loss of emotion can increase impulsivity, negatively impact their relationship with others, and how a person would feel about themselves. He also claims to be schizophrenic, but there is absolutely no evidence of that anywhere. It's a theory, which means he believes he isn't human, but a different thing inside a human's body. Think furries, but they actually believe that they're animals. Jack is a demon king and a catkin. He unironically believes that he is a demon cat living inside a human body. He also believes that he's internet kin, but nothing on the internet, far right, far left, far anything, and normal regular size could tell me what the fuck that actually is. Jack markets his gore art to people under the age of 18 because it's not sexual. His art he markets to 16-year-olds old and older include death, suicide, sadomasochism, gore, self-harm, violence, and all of it is relatively sexualized. I personally don't think any of that should be marketed to people under the age of 18, no matter the fucking reason. It's almost predatory the fact that he is marketing self-harm and suicide to these people, almost encouraging it to the point where he glorifies it in his art. He also markets an 18 plus Twitter account on his straw page, and the only verification he does to this is that the person has to have their age, which is over 18, in their bio. The reason why he does this is so he can make the excuse of, oh, well, it said 18 in the bio, like it's a plausible excuse. He doesn't like people interacting with him, no matter what the reason is. If you're someone who looked into his work out of curiosity after hearing the drama, even slightly, he doesn't want to talk to you. If you're a fan of his, he doesn't want to talk to you. If you have a different political opinion, he doesn't want to talk to you. It's a good rule of thumb to never talk to him, even if he lets you. The fandoms Jack is in include South Park, Rick and Morty, BoJack Horseman, My Little Pony, Moral Oral, The Lorax, High Guardian Spice, Serial Experiments Lane, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Doki Doki Literature Club, Germa 985, and Miracle Musical. Yeah. Jack has favorite characters as well, and he calls them kins for some fucking reason. This includes Tweak from South Park, Sayori from Doki Doki, Morty Smith from Rick and Morty, Rosemary from High Guardian Spice, Lane Arakira from Experiments Lane, I can't say that fucking name. I'm putting it on screen. From JoJo, Oral Puppington from Moral Oral, Tola Rolla from My Little Pony, the Onceler from the 2012 Lorax film, SpongeBob, Ina, Marcy from Twins in Paradise, Kangel from Needy Streamer Overload, and also he says he's Kitty. Whatever the fuck that means. Jack makes animation meme content, which is basically short, repeated animations that are carbon copies of each other's video. There's no originality in any of Birdie's videos, and it's pure slop. What's funny is that his most recent popular videos aren't even his animations, they're just him talking. The target demographic of animation meme videos are usually children and underdeveloped adults, as I stated in my kitty dog video. Introducing topics like sexual assault and suicide as a good thing will fuck up kids' well being, mental health, and relationship between each other. Kids are easily influenced by things that adults don't even notice unless we take a deeper look into things. Here's another thing I wanted to take note. Jack's art style is very childlike and is very appealing to children, either on purpose or not. It still lures kids into these videos. The fact Jack isn't making his content marked 18 plus manually is super concerning. He's basically allowing these kids to watch videos like this, either on purpose or not. As I've stated before, Birdie makes content about gore, suicide, self harm, and from watching and viewing so much of his content that was taken down and or deleted, he basically encouraged kids to self-harm and commit suicide either knowingly or unknowingly. Jack has been making this content since he was a child himself. Let's begin with a few non-event videos and work our way towards the batshit insane videos that he made public himself. Pretty Little Psycho is an animation meme created by Birdie during her obsession with Kitty Dog. If you don't know who Kitty Dog is, then go watch my video on her. But Kitty Dog was kind of at fault for enabling this behavior in Birdie, instead of instantly telling him to fuck off like a normal person. But Kitty Dog nor Birdie are normal people. And not because they're LGBTQ, it's because they're stupid as fuck, even for their ages. This is quite alarming with the amount of violence and gore for a video by a kid of her age, which she is seen dismembering a character in the video, and she is 12 or 13 when making this. I know I played Postal while I was a kid, and I was like a really edgy teenager, but I honestly wouldn't make this shit even while I was fucked up, so Birdie is far worse than I am right now. She wants me at the party, she wants me at the mall, she wants me at the bathroom stall. Dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind. She just wants to fuck, she on a dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind, dirty mind. She just wants to fuck me all the time. Birdie Mind is an animation meme created by Birdie that doesn't have a target group in mind. It's one of the more generalized works he's made. There isn't blood in this video, but except for the title card, but that's not expected with Birdie. Usually there's blood and violence without a reason in Birdie's videos. What is worse is that the fact that she was into blood and stuff before anyone actually cared about her content, and making that fetish public. Alright, fine, I'll admit this. I kinda cheated with this one, but only because this video is absolutely fucking hilarious and not in the way that you think. This video is one of the most stupid fucking editings and shittiest drawings I've ever seen while diving into Birdie. I bet even with context, this would be even funnier. The video comes with absolutely zero description, so I can't even make out what it even means. The slow down music, the pre-wave wavy image movement is peak humor to me. Which probably isn't on purpose because that would give him more props than he actually deserves. So that's a really shitty drawing of St. Peter's Cross. Side note, people think that the upside down cross is Luciferian, but it's actually an old Christian symbol. The story is that St. Peter requested his crucifixion cross to be upside down because he didn't feel worthy enough to be killed the same way Jesus was. St. Peter's cross is a symbol of humility and unworthiness in the Christian church, but became a symbol of Satanism because of anti-Christian groups were retarded and flipped the cross to mock Christians without actually knowing what it meant. So if the upside down cross on the demon goat thing was supposed to be a mockery against Christianity, then he absolutely fucking failed. Okay, so now we're in full vent mode with these videos, with Birdie's character Polly committing suicide after having a mental breakdown. This is called Uh-Oh SpaghettiOs. This is standard for Birdie vent content, usually involving death and or violence in them, and is usually done poorly at that, as I stated before. There's absolutely no context given in the files explaining this. So I can't tell you what the fuck is actually going on and what caused Birdie to make this. Just like all the other vent videos and non-vent videos before this. To give you some context, Birdie would threaten to do suicide to almost everything. If you ask him to eat a granola bar by himself, he'll threaten to commit suicide. If you ask him to take care of his cat's litter box, he'll threaten suicide. Anything, and I mean anything, can make him go into hysteria and threaten to kill himself. So, this video unironically makes me even more confused every single time I watch it. I keep trying to look for hidden meaning about this video, and all I could gather is that this is a Birdie drama video that was made before all the stuff I planned to talk about was made public. Birdie has the skill to make everything he does or touches make absolutely no sense, and that makes everyone, except for the people that know him, to be completely confused. No context is given, and I have no idea why half this shit is even made. This video is called Echo Meme, and I'm 100% confused the point of this video, but it has some things I'd like to bring up. He usually makes videos that could give an epileptic child a seizure without any warnings beforehand or afterhand. He has a weird fascination with gore and violence, even at a very young age. He basically glorifies suicide, which the rate of suicide in the age demographic of animation memes, being high schoolers, is almost 10% in America. Birdie glorifying suicide directly encourages his fans to seriously consider committing suicide, which already has a 20.4% rate in high schoolers. Either on purpose or not, he is encouraging suicide to his fans, and I'm pretty sure there's a small portion of his fans have already committed suicide, with a factor being Birdie's content. All the information that I have shared is in the Job Foundation. A common thing with these videos is that it makes absolutely no sense when no context is given, which the person who made this folder should have fixed. Since all these videos were taken down, I'm unable to find the description to them, making it impossible for anyone to find since Birdie's original channel got terminated. Similar to Jack's videos, he has also drawn and written works. These works span from images of Doki Doki Literature Clubs killing themselves to Mo from the fucking Simpsons stabbing and fucking him at the same time. I'm not joking, this is 100% real, I'll show it here. I wasn't joking when I said he had an image of Mo raping and stabbing him at the same time. I absolutely have no idea what Mo is stabbing him with, but it's clear that what I said it is. This is from his Discord account, I've checked. He also says wrong person in the text below. Who the fuck is the right person to send this to? I know it might be a joke, or at least I hope so, but it's still really fucking weird to even think about drawing this, let alone do it. Many images made by Jack is literally gore art, and I mean a lot of gore art. I keep saying this because I want it deep down in your brain every time you watch a Birdie video. He doesn't hide his gore art behind an 18 plus account because it's not porn, even though he treats gore like pornography. He has a series called Torturing Birdie, which I'll get into later. So, while going through Birdie's art from 2017-2018, I saw an image of Birdie's character hanging herself. So that was fun. Here's some highlights from that folder. The artwork from 2019-2020 is no different, involving art with gore and other materials that he has a fetish for. He also has a weird fascination with the bass guitarist from Gorillaz and the one slur from the 2012 Lorax film for some fucking reason. Here are some standouts. She also made a stuffed animal during this time frame. The list of people that Birdie made porn of, and it goes from Haim, Tessie, Kitty Dog, Racco, Carol, Burple, Sleepy King, Styx, and Marcia. This was all made when he was a child, which is very concerning because kids shouldn't have access to this material, let alone make it. Children can easily be mentally fucked when they're introduced to porn at a young age, destroying their idea of sex, its role in a relationship, and getting addicted to pornography. Also affect a person, both child and adult's view of themselves and who they're attracted to. Oh, and Birdie made porn out of a 9-year-old character that she made named Polly. She admits to the age of Polly being 9 in one of her videos. So yes, some of the images in this fucking folder are considered cheese pizza. Great.
Okay, so as you can probably tell, I don't like rants and or making them. I've only made 2 or 3 serious rants before, so I'm really sorry if this is bad. As you can probably see from the title, this is a Birdie drama rant, and you're probably thinking something like, "But Birdie, this is stupid! Ranting about Birdie drama is just gonna create more drama! Ah, attention seeker!" And what I have to say about that is shut your butt for a second because this video is just to clear up some false information. I have proof that I am not an attention seeker. So let me explain the most recent Birdie drama as of now. Basically, someone leaked my no-no drawings and people are angry at me because it counts as child porn because the character Polly is 9 years old. A lot of people strongly believe that this was all for attention when this is really not the case. One reason this wasn't for attention is that all the drawings were in a private Google Plus collection, which is only visible to me. However, I did show about 3 or 4 of my friends the images, so I think one of them showed it to another person and that person leaked it. Now, I don't know how easy it is to find posts from private collections like this, so please don't try to say I'm lying about this being for attention or not, because I am telling the truth here. If this really was all for attention, I would probably post all the pictures publicly on an alt account like I did in the past. Might I add that the chicken Brent images weren't for attention, however, sadly the Psycho Birdie ones were from what I remember. And now you're probably thinking, well, that's somewhat reasonable, but then why did you draw the no-no in the first place? And I actually have 2 reasons. The first reason is for anatomy practice, because as you can probably see from the images, I am absolutely terrible at drawing vagines. And reason 2 is, And another thing, yes, I did learn from my past mistakes, because believe it or not, I'm still a fangirl of Mystery, but you didn't see any no-no images of Mystery X Polly, did you? No! All the not okay images I did were all of my own characters. And yes, I do acknowledge that I was wrong to include a 9-year-old OC in 2 of the drawings. And if I ever do draw NSFW again, which I probably won't for a long time, I will be using only adult characters or characters with no age, such as Strawberrix.
I refuse to show porn in the folder because it's really fucking disgusting, and I'm pretty sure some of the viewers of this video will get physically sick from some of the gore porn in the screenshots and evidence folder I have. It's twisted and only someone with a fucked up mental condition, worse than mine, can ever enjoy. If you want to look for it yourself, it's in the first page of Birdie's Kiwi Farms page. Just make sure you bring a puke bucket with you when you go view it. I Drop My Tortilla, also known as IDMT, is a rape comic made by Birdie about a character named Lasagna Bird drugging and raping another character named Skull. Now, I am unaware of the character of these comics, but I can say that Birdie was really into this comic because he kept talking about it for a while publicly, talking about it on Discord and Google Plus. He admitted that if the story continued, that Lasagna Bird would continue raping Skull and she would murder Skull's friends and family. He openly admitted that in a Discord chat that I have saved. Jack even admitted that Lasagna Bird would wear the skin of one of Skull's friends named Stick and would pretend to be her as the skin started decaying, which is absolutely fucking disgusting, and this shows how fucked up Jack really got and is continuing to get worse to this day. Jack made a brief discussion of the comic that summarized it for all of us because I don't have the full comic and I don't want it. But we do have what the author wrote about the comic. It says this quote, Sophia gets into Rib Chill's house while Rib Chill is asleep, basically rapes her, and Sophia gets kicked out. Lucifer gives Sophia a love potion and says give it to Rib Chills. Sophia attempts to apologize to Rib Chills, and she gets her some water with the potion in it. The potion tastes disgusting, and Rib Chill spits it out. So Sophia gets angry, and Lucifer gives her more options. But since Rib Chill hates Sophia, she won't accept anything from her, so nothing works. Eventually, Sophia gets the potion into her sandwich, but by then the potion expired, and it doesn't work. Sophia thinks it does work, so by the next day, she does the NAS to Rib Chills. Rib Chill gets tired of all the nasty, creepy stuff, so she calls the police and Sophia gets arrested. Eventually, Sophia breaks out of jail, digs a hole under her backyard, which leads to her creating a secret underground room. She kidnaps Rib Chills and keeps her in the room for weeks, while Lucifer spends that time looking for the ingredients to make a new love potion. Sophia makes sure to keep Red Shells healthy and fed. but she would occasionally put different drugs in Rib Chill's food, mainly ones to get her to pass out so she could do whatever she wants to her. My God, that's absolutely fucking disgusting. And if this was what was in the comic and he was planning to add things that were even worse, I feel like the Fed should be on Jack, like right now, as soon as possible. If you don't believe me and you think the comic doesn't exist, here's some screenshots of the actual comic here. May God help us all. Torturing Birdie, also known as TB, is an animation series created by Birdie that is a bunch of random humor crap that doesn't make any coherent sense. The script is basically just random equals funny, the writing is poor, and it feels like a grade schooler wrote it. Which, because it is, because Birdie wrote this when he was in early high school or late middle school. Alright, so you guys are gonna hate me for this, but I have actually two favorite characters of this. They're called Officer 1 and Officer 2. Officer 1, who I'm calling Dylan, and Officer 2, who I'm calling Eric. Now, Eric and Dylan are two characters that are barely in the story, but leave an impact more than any other character in the story. The two characters play off each other really well, being an old-time cop and a rookie cop working together. Birdie doesn't know how to write characters with backstories that make sense, connection to other characters, or even characters with personalities. Most of the people in Torturing Birdie are just robotic and barely stand out on their own. The only reason why I like Eric and Dylan is that they have some sort of personality, despite their robotic actions. Birdie also has a paragraph of words that summarizes what happens in the story earlier. This happens multiple times. Mostly when a character asks what happens and one responds with this giant ass fucking paragraph. Explains in deep detail what happened. As a reader and watcher, it gets really fucking annoying after the first time. Here are some of my screenshots of my favorite scenes in this fucking story. Wendy yawns but get gulked halfway through. Sophie says, oops, my finger slipped. Dylan says, it says here that you have attempted murder on your sister and you have also murdered your other sister. As far as we know, you have murdered 6 people or more. Is that true? Sophie says, what? What the fuck? No, I don't even have any sisters. Dylan says, oh, that was easy. Well, I guess you could go home. Eric says, don't be so gullible. She's clearly lying. You have to ask her like this. He clears his throat and yells, where are you keeping your weapons? Answer me truthfully or I'll fucking shoot you! Sophie says, Jesus fucking Christ. Dylan says, okay, let's just calm down here. Put away your gun. I'm sure there's a better way to figure this out. Eric says, what could possibly be a better way? Dylan says, a lie detector test? Officer 2 says, alright then, we'll try that. Side note, I like to point out that lie detector tests, also known as polygraphs, are absolute bullshit. They're just fucking pseudoscience. They don't actually test to see if you're lying or not. It's just a blood pressure, pulse reception, and skin activity test to see if you're lying or not, quote unquote. Pure pseudoscience. Sophie says, what the fuck did you do that for? Now we'll be in more trouble if the police find us again. Wendy says, well, what's a logical solution would you have used that would be any better than mine, smartass? Sophie says, smartass is my middle name, bitch. No, literally it is. My parents hate me. Anyway, you did this literally no reason. Now we might up even longer than that, bean sack. Wendy says, well, actually, I'm a cheese and bean stack. Sophie says, you know what? I don't have time for this. Wendy says, fine, sneaky bird. And finally, to end this last part, it's really short, just trust me on this. It cuts to in front of Birdie's house. Sophie says, go ahead and knock on the door. Birdie opens the door and asks, hello? Birdie sees Tro and slams the door. Sophie says, here, let me try. Sophie knocks again. And here are some of my favorite character designs. quality of these drawings is poor at best, but the characters I show are kind of interesting, I think. I have no idea why the file under Jade is labeled Big Titty Horse Girlfriend. Birdie talked about his original plan for the character Seven. He basically wrote that Seven killed herself after Snowcone left. She also planned that Snowcone was super manipulative and partially the reason why Seven is trans. It says here, quote, I got an idea to include Seven's full backstory in TV. In the original universe, when Seven kills herself, she succeeded. So in the original universe, Birdie could bring up how Seven killed herself when she explains how manipulative Snowcone really is. Basically, Snowcone is super manipulative, and she broke up with Seven and straight up said to her, if you were a girl, I would still like you. Not like I did in the first place, though LOL. Snowcone is partially the reason Seven is trans. Tension Whorillaz is a music group Birdie was trying to make. It is clear he was trying to make a Gorillaz-inspired music group, but just ended up making a shitty clone of the band. Same concept and everything. Drawn 2D characters of the band? Check. Same number of members in the band? Check. Similar names? Check. Basically repurposing everything about the band and quote unquote in your own style? Double checked. I sat down and listened to all of the songs saved in the folder about this fuck band. And it has to be one of the more bad songs I've ever listened to. It's probably worse than Melanie Martinez, and I can't stand her kind of music. I'd rather listen to K12, which I rank as one of the worst albums, even without the controversy, than listen to any more music made by Birdie. And I think this song explains everything wrong with her music.
She made me kill myself. She made me kill myself. She made me kill myself.
Yep, it's bad. I wasn't able to sit through all of it myself due to how bad it was. Why am I bringing it up? Is because inside this folder is a large screenshot right here. It says, all I know is, quote, Plessy becomes Murdoch becomes depressed after Nookin breaks up with him and he gets into online drama. He learns to play bass to fill the void in his life. He gets back together with Nuki to form a band. He goes to Anthrocon and finds Birdie, and now Birdie exists. They find HMGT lurking the streets, and HMGT follows them into Dawn's studio. Tessie and Nukin do teen ants in a bathroom stall, and HMGT teleports in with them, and the sheer energy from HMGT traumatizes them so bad they have drastic personality changes, causing Nukin and Pessy to hate each other, resulting in them breaking up. Pessy and Nukin let HMGT into the band and kicked out whoever the old drummer was. And even though they still hate each other, they both continue making music because they were starting to get hate from it. The person she was sharing this to in the DMs responded with, this story makes me angry. And she responded with, it's funny. The other person responds with, I don't like it. Birdie replies with, it's funny. Laugh. And here is Birdie talking about the same thing again, repeating herself. In phase one, I was going to make a scene where instead of Paula Cracker, their watch Alice become Murdoch. And him and Nuki were doing a nasty in one of the stalls, while Empire Ants plays in the background as an inside joke with myself. And HMGT is going to teleport in, and it scares them both so much it causes them to have drastic personality changes, such as Nukin being a dangerous lunatic and watch Elias become Murdoch, a nasty pervert. I really don't need to add anything else to this. It's just fucked up that this was his plan from the beginning. This basically means that if this band actually formed and This was the story. Things would have gotten more fucked up than it already is. You might be asking yourself, great, another fucking content warning from a dude who talks about fucked up people. So fucking what? And to that I say, well, I have reasons to warn people because some people don't want to see topics that would disturb them. I know my jokes are dark and sometimes tasteless, but I know people have limits, even if I do push them. So, with that being stated, we will be talking about animal abuse, zoophilia, mental health issues, self harm, and a bunch of random bullshit that animation meme content creators believe that is a bigger issue than it actually is. You have been warned. So, yeah, this is what everyone's here for, the animal abuse allegations. All everyone talks about is the attempted ferret rape, but no one actually looks up and talks about the conditions of the ferret Chara was in. Let me tell you that it's not all Jack's fault about the conditions, but everything else is his fault. So here's a photo of Chara. Let's talk about the cage Chara was in. The cage that Chara was almost constantly in was the size of a hamster cage. If not, it was just a hamster travel cage. The cage is obviously too small for a ferret, let alone a hamster. The cage size that a ferret must have at least should be 24-inch by 24-inch by 18-inch, or 60 centimeters by 60 centimeters by 45 centimeters. So, as we look at the cage to fair, you can see it's not even close to that size. I would like to point out this is not entirely Jack's fault. At least I hope. This is the fault of the parents because Chara was given to Jack when he was a literal baby. The parents should have done research on how to take care of a ferret. The cage Chara was in was infected with maggots twice because Jack refused to clean it at all, making the parents and siblings do all of the work. With how Cindy Bear talked about how Jack would take care of the cats, which we'll get into later, I'm 100% sure Jack didn't feed, clean, or take care of Chara at all. If evidence is all correct, the only thing Jack did with the ferret is that he occasionally played with Chara. But that was incredibly rare. This made Chara stay in her cage almost 24/7 with nothing to do. Well, even with Jack doing absolutely nothing with his ferret, he does have time to pick it up and throw it onto the couch. There's a photo of it happening, but we don't have a video of Jack throwing his ferret. But hey, at least it was a cushioned surface. This is how Birdie treats social animals like ferrets. Maybe she should have gotten a second ferret. Ferrets are social animals. They get lonely and bored without anyone to play with. While it is possible to have a single ferret, you need to spend a lot of time with that ferret, which Birdie didn't do. She was too afraid to let her ferret after the cage after the allegations of her raping her ferret, and she admitted to this. But what Birdie did do was try to make her ferret commit oral on her. Yes, you heard me right. Birdie did try to make his ferret commit oral sex onto him. He admitted it himself. He said he was manipulated by Maddie into making his ferret do actions onto him. So, even if this is true, Birdie would still be at fault for doing such a thing. He admitted to doing it here. Quote, okay, I warn you. I regret this awfully. I genuinely have no fucking idea why I did that. When I was 13, I was manipulated by Maddie. I have no fucking idea why. But when my family left the house, I tried to make Chara do teen ants on me. I am so fucking upset at 13-year-old me. I didn't even go through with it. I was so ashamed. I don't abuse animals. It was a one-time thing, which was like I said, I have no fucking idea why I did that. Why? I love Chara so much. I would never do that. Now she's like a daughter to me. I never do that again. That poor girl. I thought I'd take this secret to the grave, but now you know how much I trust you. So, now will you tell me yours? Please respond. I feel so bad. And if you want any confirmation of the way Jack treats animals, listen to how Cindy Bear explains how he would treat their cats back when they lived together.
I have on multiple occasions come home from work with all the lights being off in the apartment, and the cats not having any food or water or attention, because Jack spent all day in bed and never got up to take care of them. His mental health is likely responsible for a lot of Jack's impulsive or self-destructive behavior, and I don't want to give the impression that it's inexcusable to have days where your mental health takes over, but some sort of accountability needs to be taken when you're responsible for another life. Having poor mental health is valid, but it's not an excuse to continuously neglect an animal.
If you believe that Jack can still take care of an animal after hearing all that, well, I have good news. He stole Cindy Bear's cat named Squirt, which is fucking stupid ass name. Because Cindy said he gave the cat to Jack doesn't mean he owns the cat. Cindy bought the cat and used her legal name and everything because Jack, quote, didn't want to use his dead name for the legal documents. Cindy has a right to own the cat, and Jack admitted to taking the cat in one of his videos, basically admitting to a felony in the state both Cindy and Jack were living in, Missouri. That's right. Under Missouri Revised Statuses, Title 83, Crimes and Punishments, Peace Officers and Public Defenders, Chapter 570, Stealing and Related Offenses, Section 570.033, Stealing Animals Penalty, quote, any person who, without lawfully authority, willfully takes another's animal with the intent to deprive him of his property is guilty of a Class D felony. So, Jack admittedly confessed to a felony, and so is the friend who has possession of Squirt. He didn't just steal one of Cindy's cats or try to make his fare commit oral on him, he technically abused and neglected both his cat and ferret. This is absolutely fucking disgusting, and I need a cold shower after going through all of this. Birdie did not get hacked. Birdie has been using the name Sprite Cram Birdie and decided to start shitposting on his main to make it look like someone hacked him. So he can get away with whatever bullshit he got accused of before starting this. No fucking hacker against Birdie would post shit like this. Alright, so with that given, I will let you know, as a green hack, we don't do this shit. This is obviously a child pretending that they got hacked for some reason. Knowing Birdie is probably to get away with something in the documents I have. I don't want to go into detail because there are images of this in the video before this part, but if you haven't noticed already, Birdie has a massive self-harm fetish. If you look at her Kiwi Farm page, you'll see tons of it. People more than just the original poster has tons of this stuff in it. I refuse to show you it because it's literal gore porn. Nobody wants to see that shit, and it's easy to find. There is more tamer stuff in the video in section 3 as well if you want to go back and look at it. But she has a favorite kind of self-harm. Here's the screenshot of her talking about it. Olive asks, what's your favorite type of gore? Sorry if this is a weird question. I think gore is cool, and I wanted to know what you thought. Birdie responds with cuts and stab wounds. Oliver replies with, that's cool. Do you draw gore often? And Birdie responds with, yes, very often. If you look at the Kiwi Farm page, you will notice she likes ribs. Like, she really likes exposed ribs of humans. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting. This part really isn't that much of a controversy, but it's something I would like to point out that Birdie used to be really, really, really sexual when she was younger, to an alarming state. You can see this with the previous chapters that she used to be very sexual, almost constant. Nowadays, Birdie claims to not be sexual at all and doesn't know where touching someone would be sexual. Which obviously is incorrect because all of the fucking porn she's drawn over the past 9 years. 9 years. Jesus fucking Christ. I feel old. I remember being a fucking kid and bullying her back in 2019 on YouTube. I'm exposing her again for shit she should be exposed for. Not for like stupid shit like being a detention whore or stealing OCs. Now, I kind of have a big gripe with the document I was sent because I have most of the shit inside of it is absolutely useless and very uninteresting, like stealing OCs, family issues, and attention seeking. Stealing OCs is probably one of the stupidest shit someone could be exposed for or even do. But people making it a big deal instead of dealing it properly is also really fucking stupid. The only thing I think could be even worse for you exposing someone for is offensive jokes. This is a fucking womp womp situation, dude. And it's fucking obvious that Birdie is an attention seeker to begin with. He is actively trying to get into drama that doesn't involve him, but when people start pointing things out like his red fetish, ferret abuse, or false hacking, he immediately goes offline and disappears for a period of time until he comes back, gets involved with another drama, and the cycle fucking happens again. Birdie's an obvious attention seeker, maybe because of his BPD or just because he has no actual life to live. The point is, he seeks attention, like Kitty Dog, or the countless creators on YouTube talking about Birdie themselves, making those rant videos and shit. So that is Birdie. I didn't even need to go through his newest video about his drama because so many YouTubers have already covered it far sooner than I have. But none of them decide to dig digger than I have. I mean, Toastify did some digging, but it wasn't enough. If this video gets over 1,000 likes, I'll do a live reaction to the video, if it doesn't get deleted by the time I get that many likes. Jack is a really interesting case study because of the fact he keeps running away from his problems and never takes accountability for anything he has done. He keeps blaming everyone else for things he has done and never learns from his mistakes. Rules for you, not for me type of deal. This has been Plushies signing off. Thank you for bearing through this shit. I'm sorry it took a while, but I'll see you next time. Goodbye.